Okay guys, so let me get you caught up now on what's happened over the past few days. My friend Don came by and picked up my gas tank. Don is that master fabricator that I told you about. He teaches welding out at Blackhawk Tech. And he came by, we shoot the shit for a while, we talked about the tank, told him what I thought was going on, where the leak was and all this other stuff. He's like, well, that's all right, I'll take it out to the shop and we'll run some tests on it and we'll get it all cleaned up. And he's like, yeah, you got to empty out all the gas because there was still a fair amount of gas in there. He goes, oh yeah, I know how to do that. And he's examined it over the last few days, put a camera or some mirrors down into the tank so you could see exactly what was going on inside the tank. He can see some light showing through, but he's determined that the mounting bracket that's attached to the tank and welded on, that's solid metal. He goes, that it really hasn't corroded at all. It's just the thinner tank metal. So what he has determined was that just by welding completely around that bracket will basically seal it up. It won't leak any more gas, and then yeah, everything should be good to go. But right now what I got going on is that he called me up. He goes, hey, I'm gonna weld your tank tonight. I'll probably be in the shop around 4:30. Do you want to come up and record it? Hell yeah! So that's where I'm headed. I'm headed up to his fabrication shop, and we're going to get some footage of him welding my tank and sealing up that stupid leak. So I'm excited. I really am. He's actually doing it at his fabrication shop. I thought he was going to do it at Blackhawk Tech, but for some reason he's not. I think he said something about he doesn't really trust his students to do something like this. All right, I'm at John's workshop. And there's the man.
How's it going?
Alright, this is the magic worker, guys.
Oh. Your bid, sorry, I had to set it up. It's 120 amps.
120?
Push the pedal all the way down, you get 120 amps. Let the pedal all the way up, you have 0. In between, you have a gradiated response. So I can do 5, I can do 10, I can do 20.
Alright.
It's your purge hose. You've got to shield the back side of the weld. Can be oxygen is corrosive, it's going to screw your weld. So we run a purge hose in there, we're just coming off that double valve on the argon right there. Everything's sealed up, argon is heavier than air. We're going to let this thing run for about 7 minutes, it's going to purge all the oxygen out. We'll have pure argon down here where we're going to do our weld, so we have a clean weld on the inside and the outside.
Okay.
What we're not going to do, we're not going to grind any of the paint, we're not going to clean anything up. I don't want to screw up the paint anymore than I absolutely have to. We're going to go over it 2 or 3 times just to burn it off on a dry arc, and then we're going to come back in and fill it in.
Oh, okay.
We're going to use 309 to fill it in. It's a non-typical. It's going to last longer than conventional ER70S or 70S6. Do any damage to that paint that we don't need to.
Yeah, and then you're going to do those little holes there too, right?
Yep, and then catch the corners.
Right there.
Yep, we'll flip it over and we'll catch the corners.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I can definitely say that it's a lot better than I could ever do.
Practice, my friend. Lots of practice.
got those 2 little holes filled in. So now we're going to get into there.
And on the other side.
Yep, and the other side.
Yep.
Popping we're seeing is we're burning through the paint. By just burning through it, not grinding it off, we're going to minimize, hopefully minimize the amount of damage we do to the paint sheet.
Lot of garbage in there. Still got a little bit of a hole we got to fill in. I just need to let it cool off for a minute. Yeah, it's a full wire brush.
Is all that sparking from like residue in the tank or something?
Impurities in the metal. I'm getting, I'm drawing out some rust. I tried it out before we did this, so there's no water.
I just want to make sure I hide it just there so I can bring it back around. You had a rust out in that corner right there. Hope we don't have one on the other side, but we'll get that.
I heard an uh-oh.
Oh, there we go.
Got another hole they developed.
Well, it's gone now.
Okay guys, I'm home from the shop. I've actually been home for a while, but you know, things get happening and whatnot. But got the tank home. Ooh, sorry, got the burps. Got the tank all covered up in tape here, so you guys want to see what he's done? Okay, so there's the welds. Of course, you know, the welder creates heat, so it burned off some paint, but that's okay. We can kind of repair that. So, come on, focus. There we go. There's the other side. Alright, here's a view from the underside. This is where most of the welding took place. Right in through here, there was a weld that came through up until right about here, but then there was no weld at all, so water was seeping in through here, underneath between the mounting bracket and the actual tank. So yeah, water was starting to seep in through here. He cleaned all that out and then welded it all shut. Did it on both sides because it was happening on both sides. So that weld is completely shut. And then he also, there were a couple of small little holes here, kind of about the size of these right here. A couple of small little holes, one there and one there. He sealed those completely, and he also ran a weld right along this line here. So basically, this whole bracket is completely welded all the way around now. There's no holes for water to get into and keep rusting the tank. So he's done a really good job. While he was working, like around in this area, the metal was so thin that he blew through it, but he was able to seal it all back up again. And then even this plate here, he ended up re-welding along the sides. He did a little bit down here, but then all that is still undone, and we don't have to do that. There's no sign of any leaking going around that area. So yeah, the main part was basically welding up this area here, and then on the other side on this area here, and then yeah, just basically welding up this bracket. That was it. But now the fun part is that I get to sit here and do a bunch of sanding because, you know, as he was welding, the heat, you know, cracked a lot of the finish and the paint and stuff like that. Luckily, most of it's on the underside, except for that one area that you already seen where it was right at the edge of the tank. But all that gets covered up by the seat anyway, so I really don't care. But I'm going to do some sanding. I'm going to try to find close to color paint and try to do the best job I can. But for right now, what I want to do is I just want to spend some time and try to sand off all this burnt, cracked paint. So let's get into it. Alright, so I'm just going to start with a simple 100 grit. Actually, I think that's doing pretty good. So I'm going to flip it over. See about trying to get some of this stuff sanded off. Okay, so I think I got it mostly all done now. I started with a 100 grit, and then I went to a 150 grit. And I think I did a pretty good job on getting this smoothed out. I mean, it's not 100% perfect, but I knew it wasn't going to be. Okay, I'm doing it. But I think it's going to be a smooth enough transition to where I can get a coat of paint on there, and it should be good to go. It really should. I was talking with Don about the rust that's already on the tank down there. He says they're just small pinholes, so there's nothing really to worry about. He goes, you know, that metal in there should probably last another 15 years or more before it probably starts giving way again, and it'll be away from the welds. It'll, you know, work its way around this plating over here. So yeah, my next step I think is to well, probably go to sleep. It's getting kind of late. But I need to go to a store, get some degreaser, get it all cleaned up, get all the residue off. And then, like I said, I'm going to take my side covers with me just to an automotive store or something like that, and just get a close enough color. And yeah, just put a few coats on it. Should be good enough. Yeah, I think this is the biggest project that I've taken on for my bike. Sorry, my voice is kind of going on me. So yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting where I think I'm comfortable to say, yep, it's just about done. It's pretty much just a coat of paint. And then I'm reassembly. But I tell you, doing this little project, I mean, I didn't do the welding, okay? But I did diagnose the problem. You know, I diagnosed where the leak was. And I took the tank off, which I've never done before. And then I'm going to put it all back on, which I've never done before. So yeah, I'm real happy with the way this is turning out. And now, because I've taken the tank off, I know how easy it is. So I can actually now get to my coolant reservoir, you know, the cover, and I'll be able to fill it from the top because I know how to take the tank off. And, by the way, if you're wondering, a lot of people were making comments that because I was filling the coolant through the hose and then reattaching the hose, that it wasn't going to be full, that the, you know, like it's supposed to be. Well, I went out there after I'd taken the tank off, popped the cover on my cooling system, and it was completely full. So for those naysayers out there that said I did it wrong and it's not going to work and my bike was going to overheat, well, to you, because it didn't overheat. And the coolant level is full. So apparently what I did was good enough. All right. Well, this is Mark saying adios for now. I mean, for me, it's going to probably be a day or so. But for you, it'll be like that. That's not worked. Let's try it again. Damn thing must be on the fritz. Oh well. Here we go. Alright, so took my side cover down to the automotive shop and picked up some paint. Now I think that's gonna be close enough. What do you think? Not saying it's an exact match, but you gotta remember that the stuff I'm painting, it's actually gonna be like under the seat and under the tank, so the color shouldn't matter too much. But I wanted to get it close. Alright, so what I want to do, I also went out and got some degreaser. So I need to spray off that the bottom side of that tank where all the welding was done, and I did all that sanding last night. So I'm going to take the tank, I'm going to get it all cleaned up and degreased and ready for paint. Okay, so I am going to do this over the kitchen sink just so that the debris and the drippings and stuff from the can have someplace to go. Now this degreaser that I'm using, it's not supposed to leave any residue or anything like that. It should dry clean. But I do want to make sure that I got it all clean. That's why I'm kind of spraying it kind of heavy. Actually, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to leave it here and let it drip dry. Alright guys, just to give you a quick shot before I start the painting. Now I'm going to tape from right about here, close to that yellow line. And I'm just going to cover the area right above where I sanded. And then I'll give you a look under here. So everything's nice and clean. Now I'm only really interested in masking off and protecting the stuff on the top. Once I start painting the bottom of it, I'm not going to sit there and waste a whole bunch of masking tape and newspaper and stuff like that because, well, I don't really care what the bottom of the tank looks like. So I think we're just about ready to go. I'm just going to mask it off, and then I'm going to do another layer with masking, and I'll probably have maybe some grocery bags or newspaper or something like that to protect the rest of the tank from overspray. So yeah, let's get into the masking and get into this. Yeah, let's go. Alright, now to get some paper to cover over it. Okay, so as you can see, I got it pretty much all masked off where I don't want the paint to go. So it's not super great, it's not super pretty, but it'll get the job done. Sorry for the noise over there, Jen's doing her stuff.
Now I
Yeah, it's a lot funner if you just squeeze them and pop them.
What, like this?
Yeah, that's better. Alright guys, so then here's the top. Now, I'm not worried about the line being straight or nothing like that. It's just basically to protect the rest of the paint. Most of this is getting covered by the seat anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, here's the color I'm doing. It's a Chrysler color. And it is Inferno Red. I suppose I might turn on the fan too. You know, ventilation.
You could even open a window.
It's like 8 degrees outside. I'm not opening a window.
And
Oh, sorry. It's 10 degrees outside. I'm still not opening a window. Alright, one coat done. Alright, so this is after the first coat. As you can see, there's stuff showing through here, but I'm hoping those will get covered in the next coats. I'm no professional at doing this stuff, so don't be yelling at me, you should have done this, you should have done that. This is just the way I'm doing it, okay? Alright, time for coat number 2. Looking good, guys. Okay, here's another look after here's a look after the second coat. Again, everything looks pretty well covered. That area is not as noticeable. I'm happy, guys. It's looking really good. I guess still got what, 1 or 2 more coats. I'll kind of look at it after the next one and see if I need to do another one. I think I might. All right, coat number 4, or no, coat number 3. Three. 3. There we go. And between each coat, I do clean this little sprayer nozzle off. I just, my little blanket here, I just take it and rub it off. That way I get a nice clean nozzle again. Alright guys, coat number 4. Okay guys, you ready to see it? Now it's not perfect, but like I said, it didn't need to be. It's going to be mostly covered up by seats and stuff like that. So, here we go. You can see the hard line of where the paint starts and stops, where I masked off. Look underneath here. So yeah, I'm actually quite happy with the way it looks. And technically that hard line where the paint is, I could get like a super fine sandpaper and just lightly sand around that area until it kind of blends in and stuff. So I could do that and then just give it a quick little shot of clear coat. So it's not bad. I'm liking it. It looks good. In fact, maybe some buffing compound might actually level off that hard line as well. It's worth a shot. Okay guys, I've decided that I do want to do some wet sanding just to smooth out this little line that's right here. And it's nothing major, like I said, it gets hidden by the seat anyway, but it's just something about it that's just making me, I don't want it. So, I went down to the hardware store, got some 2000 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to use a small amount of it. Alright, now this is a wet dry sandpaper. And I've never actually done it before. I've never used wet dry sandpaper before, and I'm actually doing the wet method. So I think all I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick the paper in the water and then scrub it. I don't know if you're supposed to do it that way or if it needs to be under flowing water. I don't know. Like I said, I've never done it before. So I'm just doing it this way. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to go until I just don't feel that ridge underneath the paper anymore. It's feeling better, but it's going to take some time. Right there. Alright guys, I think that's it. So I'm just going to take a wet towel and I'll just wipe it off and we'll see what we got. So yeah, I can still feel just a very slight edge on there, but it's not nearly as hard as it was before. Got some small little hose clamps, so I can clamp the hoses back on. Those little wire ones that they have on there, you got to bend them to shit just to get them off. So I'm not going to reuse them. So got my hose clamps, got the sanding done. Well, now with my sanding, of course, now it looks dull. So now I'm wondering if I actually need to go out and get a clear coat. Alright, so this is my next step. I'm going to use some polishing compound, and I'm hoping that will just take out that slight sandy haze. That's not looking too bad. Just going to have to do it for a while. Okay guys, I think it's looking pretty good. Tell me what you think. I really cannot see the sanding area at all. So I think it looks pretty darn good. Alright, time to get back on the bike. Alright, let's get this thing on. Alright. Now when you put your tank on, you got these channels up here by the neck, and you got little rubber grommets down here. So you got to make sure that those fit in. Just like that. Alright, I'm going to put in the bolts to hold it down, reconnect all the hoses, and yeah, electrical, all that stuff. Let's get into it. Okay, let's see if I can get this hose on without getting your guys' way. So this hose here goes onto this outlet or inlet or whatever the hell it is. Alright, that's all the way on. I think that's nice and tight. So I'm going to do the one farthest forward, and that was the one with the red stripe. So again, just wiggle it on. Let's see if I can get this clamp on. Alright, I can't do this with you guys there. I'm going to have to move you, so sorry. Okay, sorry I couldn't get you guys in there to see exactly what I was doing. But I got the hoses on. And now I can take out this little spacer. I put these bolts in, but just barely. I mean, they're not even tight at all. So it's just basically to hold it there until I get the gas line on. I might have to move the tank to do that. So let's go to the other side and actually hook up the gas line. Okay, this right here is the gas line. Remember, I gotta push it and hold it in. Alright, did I get it? Hey, look at that, I think I got it. No, I did not. There we go. Yep, now it's on. See how it moves like that? Then you gotta push these little gray tabs. There's one there, and then there's one on the other side, so you gotta pinch them together and slide it on. Okay, so that's the 4 hoses, the one on the up front on the other side, the 2 on the back side over here, and then my gas line right here. So now I say it's time to hook up the electrical. Alright, so the first thing I need to do, this big one here, you got this little area right here. There's a little metal bracket right below your ignition switch, and it just slides onto that. Just like that, nice and easy. And then this big huge thing just plugs right in. Push it in until you hear it click. And then this one here, it's for the ignition and all the power ins for that. So we're going to put that in until it clicks. All right, now the final electrical is to push in these few wires here. Remember, the small one goes to the small one until it clicks. Oh, gotta get that one underneath there. And then the larger one, so that one's like 2 ports and this one's 3. Again, just push it in until you hear it click. Okay, all the hoses are hooked up, the electrical's all hooked up. We should be able to pour gas into it and hopefully it won't leak. And yeah, let's see if we can get this thing to go. Okay, for now, that's all I'm going to put in there. I just want to double check everything and see if I see anything leaking. Uh-oh. No. No, 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 no. Well, the saga continues. I had to quickly pull the tank off because it was leaking. Let me show you what's going on. So we welded all of this here and then into there and into that side as well. And he started running a bead down here because he had a little blowout, but he never touched the stuff back here, and that's actually where it is leaking now. And then that little spot right there is a pinhole leak right there. So damn it, I thought my tank was done. Now I gotta go do it again. I mean, I'm happy. I was really excited that my tank was fixed so easily, and I'm glad that he's willing to keep on working with it and working with me and making sure that this is done properly and right. So, saga continues. I'll let you know what goes on.